Hey guys, Gordon here with Guardians of Freedom. Just wanted to do a message because it was on my mind um, about why people are frozen or freezing right now within the freedom movement. And what I'm noticing at the moment, and what we've seen already in Sydney and Melbourne, um, is people just froze and they just sat there and let everything happen to them. Um, they, they didn't do anything, they just sat there. And it's something that I've noticed, and it's sort of starting to happen in Queensland now. People are just freezing, and I think there's a few reasons for that. And I think the number one thing is people have been expecting someone else to come and save them or save the situation and save the day. Okay, and I guess I'm not going to just put the problems out there, but I'll give some solutions. And the counter to that problem is really simple. It's personal responsibility. Um, it's just like anything in our normal lives. If you want to achieve something, you have to take that personal responsibility. I've been copying, I guess, a bit of hate for people coming to me and saying, "Oh, you haven't done anything," or "You're not doing anything." The reality is, one person can't do it on their own. That's a whole other topic. We need everyone to take that personal responsibility to do something. Otherwise, you're going to freeze. And so, those were the first, I guess, reasons that I can see. Um, People are freezing because they've been waiting for someone else. Okay, and as where we are now, I'm hoping that people can see this. You can't wait for anyone else now. You've got to take that personal responsibility for your life, and that's what this is about. It's your life, but it's also about the future of humanity as well. So the other thing I guess is, aside from that, there's wishful thinking that something else is, petitions and all of those things, court action, you name it, politics, protests, etc. And people have been waiting and waiting, and I really want people to see now where we are. And like I said, the message we've been trying to deliver from day one is that these things aren't going to work in this situation that we face, because it's a new world order, right? And so these people aren't just going to randomly stop because we asked them to. And so I think when people run out of those things, it's gotten to the point where they're just frozen. They don't know what to do next. That's where what we're trying to create comes in. And so this is part of the solution that we've been trying to work on for so long. It's imperative that we get into these community networks. So that's why we have the branches. And I know there's a lot of other groups out there doing things as well. But what I'd probably say is, we've got to be doing the right things. Otherwise, you're going to end up, in peril, basically. So yeah, we've got to let go of those things and start doing the right things. Okay, we can't freeze. So that's number two. Number three, I think, has to do with our tie to materialism, and the way we've been conditioned. The human condition has been made that we're tied to our material possessions, and it just seems like too much to leave them or let go of this material life that has been created for us. And it's key right now that we're able to do that. It's not an easy thing, and even myself included. I wake up sometimes, and when I look at our plan B, that this is where we are now. We're actually moving towards plan B. Now, we had plan A running for a long time, but people simply were not willing to see what was happening and take some serious, hands-on, hard but lawful action, which was our plan A. Again, people have been criticizing me about that, saying, "What have you done? Oh, you're a pussy," and all of this stuff. And all I can challenge them back is, have a look at our plan A. This is, really, it's been I've taken a lot of risk with trying to put this out there. And so anybody that's saying that to me, well, your words don't mean anything with the amount of work I've put in, and the amount of risk I personally and every one of our coordinators has taken to try and make Plan A come into fruition. So just going back to that materialism factor, um, some people are religious, and if you look through your books, you'll see it in there. There's all these different. I'm not that religious myself, but I have come across certain phrases and things like that where we'll need to let go of that materialism. For me, it's really simple. My integrity can't allow me to accept this new world order under any circumstances, and the changing of humanity and the evil that's being, put forward right now, and it's coming. It's going to be worse. I simply can't accept it. That's just how I'm built. Even if I wanted to, I can't. And so then the other side is, well, we've got to do whatever we need to do to keep ourselves safe and secure. And that means relinquishing the materialism. And when we look at our materialism, everyone's worked so hard their whole lives to get to where they are, and they don't want to let go of that. And I understand it, because I have those thoughts as well. I've worked hard. I've had a career that I've been building, and I've had dreams, and we all have dreams. And I wake up in my nice spring mattress with woolen overlay, and all of that. It's so comfortable. I can flick on my TV, flick on my air conditioning, but this is how you're trapped. There's a few different things when it comes to materialism. There's traveling. There's enjoying nice restaurants and bars and cafes. That's all materialism. So we've really got to get past that, and that's causing people to just sit there because they're not willing to do that. But again, I say the choice is pretty simple. You're either accepting this new world order, the evil that's coming, or you're not, and you're doing whatever you have to do. The fourth thing, I think, is fear. So fear starts creeping in, and the reason is because people out there in the freedom movement have been sold by other freedom fighters who are so-called leaders that they're going to win by protesting, by this or by that. And these guys have been pushing this the whole time. It's really upset me, actually, to see that. And I've had conversations. That's probably point number 5. But I've had conversations with people who are running groups, and they just don't want to see logic or a rational way out. And they're leading people down that path. And it's really sad to see that. And so what's happened is a lot of the freedom community have suddenly realized, well, we're pretty screwed here. And then the fear's just gone bam. Now, how do we deal with that? What's the solution for that? Well, there's a couple of things. I guess the first one is really looking within yourself to find that courage. And something I always say to people when they expect someone else to do something, I always say the hero is going to be in all of us. We all have to find that hero inside of us. And so you've got to look inside you and find that courage. And a note on courage. Courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. And I've even heard other leaders in the freedom community say, I'm not scared. And that's just nonsense. That's not courage. Courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means you feel the fear, but you still push ahead to do what's right. And that's the difference between a hero and a coward. They both feel fear. It's just the hero does something despite feeling that fear. So that's number one. We've got to look inside ourselves, and we've got to find our motivator to push through that fear. And that motivator might be humanity. It might be your children. It might be yourself. It might be good overcoming evil. And there's a whole range of things that motivates me to keep that courage going. And quite simply, I can't let this evil just be. It doesn't matter what happens. For me, I can't let it be. So the other thing you can do when it comes to the fear side of things and courage is, again, that's what we're building the branches for. That's what we want people to get into these branches, and we can lean on each other. And so some of us are going to have higher levels of courage, and that's the shoulder that's going to be there and help others to muster up their courage as well. So number 5, I'm going to say is, and I'm going to do a whole video on this, is people are frozen because there's been poor leadership out there, really poor leadership. And people that really had no clue about what's going on, how to deal with it, and where do we go from there, have been pushing a lot of things that just can't work, never would have worked, and some of them are still pushing it. And like I said, I've had conversations with people to say, hey, let's logically review this, and they've either refused or they've stolen the concepts and gone, all right, I'm going to take this to my group, and that's all good, except for one thing. I don't have a problem with people doing things that are going to work, even if they've stolen it. But the problem is that's not leadership. The problem is what happens then at the next turning point. What are they going to do then if they couldn't understand the situation? They don't understand the game we're in, and they don't understand the other team, the opposition. And it's led people into a false sense of hope or belief that everything's going to be all right. And that it all ties together. It's got to be personal responsibility. We all need to take it. Okay? So, guys, I guess my message out there is don't let yourself freeze, particularly in Queensland now. Don't let yourself go down. Okay, now, another counter is preparation ahead of time. And we've got our prep list that anyone who signs up on our website, we email that prep list out. You need to have your physical preparations to be able to survive that period of time, but you've got to look beyond that as well, and that's what we're doing. Now, you've also got to mentally be prepared to go through the difficulties that we've got ahead. And believe me, this is still light stuff. It's going to get a lot tougher. And some people don't want to hear that. Again, so that's the cognitive dissonance. They don't want to believe that. And I've heard all kinds of theories like, don't worry, the good guys are coming and blah, 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 blah. Okay? And it's really making me mad now, because these people are putting things out there that are putting everyone else at risk with these crazy theories that have no evidence base behind them. They're just putting them out there. So we've got to get rid of that wishful thinking and get mentally prepared and physically prepared, and then we need to get in these support networks, and we need to be moving in the right direction with the right strategy, which is what we've been about from day one. So again, guys, don't freeze out there. It is coming, and it's coming on strong. It's coming on hard, and we've just got to get harder and stronger to deal with it. And we've got to get smarter and more strategic. Okay. Somebody was criticizing me the other day, saying, oh, why did you leave Melbourne? You ran away, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to run and hide, blah, blah, blah. Well, excuse me for being a little bit strategic, thinking ahead and having actually a plan. And that's what we need to be doing, not sitting there being emotional and just reacting like wild animals, basically. And that's not being spiritual, that's just being emotional. Okay, so we need to think ahead, we need to plan ahead. And I've been criticized as well, saying that I'm not fighting the fight. Again, the reality is, if you look at our plan A, we had the biggest fight that we were trying to put together. We got held back because of these people, again, pushing all of their members completely down the wrong path, where we could have really ended this. And if you have a look at our plan A, it was a strong action. So anyone saying I'm not ready to fight, and that's what plan B is, okay? We will regroup and wait for the fight when we're ready, not be silly, not have a lack of any strategy, a lack of any future planning. I just thought I'll quickly answer some of the critics out there on that one while I'm talking. So again, guys, don't freeze, take action now to prepare ahead, guys. And get involved in the branches. We've got some activities that we're doing already now to get people ahead. So if you haven't already, go onto our Facebook page, sign on there, and also check out our website, guys. We've got a whole bunch of information, and there's a registration page that everyone can sign on to get involved in their local branch. Take care out there, guys, and like I said, don't freeze. All right, or they win. See you guys.